I guess with all factions and all ideologies that arrive on social media, especially here on YouTube, comes a point where they splinter and fracture and become so many different offshoots and so many different clashes of ideologies under the same hood that it's finally starting to rear its ugly head in the black manosphere, which I've seen for a long time now, you know, and it perpetuates the situation that not only do black men and black women have issues getting along on these platforms or in real life, black men and black women clash with one another within their own so hard. And there's people who are neutral, who have understood where a lot of their fellow men have come from, and the women who understand where a lot of their fellow women have come from, but have gone into this mindset like, look, you have to take some accountability for that. You have to not only talk about the red flags and evolving into a smarter and more productive version of yourself, you have to be about it. And when I say that, there's a lot of things in my life that I aspire to put into motion. And I'm not going to sit here and tell you how everything's magically going correctly for me. But it's always on my mind. I'm always looking like, okay, this is what I want to do. Now, how can I make it line up like the stars do? You know? A lot of people are sitting here and I'm seeing a lot more men who are in the black manosphere starting to move in a very pattern that is like, look, your clock is different from a female's clock, and you need to really stop with this whole rhetoric as if you need to find you a so-called high-value woman or a woman of worth, you know? Because we already have established many times in the past that a lot of black American women have their priorities all messed up. They put the cart before the horse many, many times in their life. And then everything needs to fall in place when they're done and they're used up. That's already given. And then we have a lot of brothers out here who don't know how to move on from a bad relationship with a black woman and find another black woman who's better. A lot of people just want what they want. Black men and women, they want what they want, but they don't want what's right for them. And a lot of men need to realize that you're not always the right one for them. You have ideals, and you think life is like one of those romance movies and one of those romantic songs where he can't love you like I can love you. No. Get into your head that he doesn't love her like you want to love her. You trying to knock that man out of that spot, but she wants that man in her spot, literally and figuratively. You know? She wants him there. Okay? And when you see women like that, a lot of you brothers need to stop dwelling on them. Now, I understand if a lot of women come into your spaces and your social media and they start talking this nonsense and they need to get, you need to just like respectfully disagree with them. I get it. I see this is why Kevin Samuels is as popular as he is right now. But I need to tell a lot of you brothers one thing. Y'all got to talk to the females like that too. Not like making fun of them or playing the dun. No. Have standards and self-respect. You don't have to put on a suit. And this is no knock on that man's hustle. I'm just telling you all, you have it in you already. It's going to take some time. You can't be as graceful as you see content creators being. A lot of them have been doing it for a while. They've gotten into a rhythm of their own. But that's all smoke and mirrors online. It's all about how you cut off that video and how you conduct yourself in real life. That's what it's about, man. And I see and feel that a lot of brothers don't have that backbone. They don't. They're so worried about not getting any that they will fall into this place like, you know what? She's really toxic. She gets on my nerves, but I don't want to be alone. Okay? Versus a black woman who knows the guy's toxic and gets on her nerves and is wrong for her, but she will put all that to the wayside for some dick. Let's just keep it 100% right here. So you have men who don't want to be alone, who don't have any game. Because I'm going to tell you honestly, I ain't one out there that can be like, yo, so I'm saying and all this and that. No, that's not my style. It's never been my style. I put my feelers out there. I talk to you, engage you like a respectable human being. And if you turn your face up at me and you act like you're not interested, I'm gone. That's how you gotta be. I can't be like, oh, how I'm gonna get her to like me. You know she makes bad decisions. Or if you stand by and you stand by from a distance and you be like, okay, I peeped the game. I got to know her on a friend level. And this is how she is with men. Oh, Jesus Christ. No, I'm good with that. She's fine and everything, but she ain't no wife though. A lot of you guys need to stand back and watch that. A lot of you women need to actually stand back and watch that. You know, contrary to popular belief, these men don't put a gun to your head and make you do something you don't want to do. And if you're falling for words, that can mean a few things. That can mean that your mind is faulty as an old lock, or the lack of a man as a mentor in your life, like a father or something, has really left you very vulnerable. Or it could be that you saw your mom fall for the okie doke and you think it's just all a-okay. You know, this is how mama dealt with men. Mama put that good on these men and had these men around. It can be various things. But all I see is a bunch of people bickering with one another, and now the manosphere so hard up for some females to come in, and any female could come in and be like, you know what, you're absolutely correct. Yes, I've seen women do this. I've done this stuff too. And you know, it's what did MGTOW teach a lot of you? And y'all have forgotten about it. I know you splintered off from MGTOW, but what have they taught you? They've taught you about the female chameleon. Okay? The one that will pretend to be into anything that you're into until she gets comfortable enough, and then she starts to go back to being a woman that you are trying to watch out against. I ain't saying all women. I'm saying the women that you're trying to stay away from. She's been that woman the whole time, but she realized a lot of guys are on to her BS. So what does she do? She adapts to that situation and make it, you know, make the guys drop their guard against her. And then once she feel comfortable and this guy's like P-whipped or whatever he is, she can go back to being who she really was. Plain and simple. A lot of guys do that to women too. And we tell women, a lot of black men be trying to tell women, look, you got to watch out for that. Stop blaming men for your gullibility. And stop blaming women for your gullibility, brothers. It's just too much. And I feel like Now we have all this infighting going on. I'm looking at the women are infighting. The men are infighting. They're not getting along. And I'm like, there's men and women within both of those conflicts that are just like, you know what? I understand what y'all been trying to say, and y'all, I have my guard up. I get it. I can see what you're talking about, but I'm not gonna let this shit consume me any longer. I've learned from it, but I'm not a slave to it. I don't want misery to be my company, and I don't want it to keep company. If we're moving on from this, any person with sensibility who wants to move on from these situations have to understand that you are culpable in your own decisions. Yeah, a lot of people are like this. I can tell you this myself. I can easily have a girlfriend right now. But from what I've seen of the black women who are mutually interested, not mutually, who are interested in me, I don't find a lot of them attractive. I don't find a lot of women in general who are interested in me, I don't care what race you are, attractive. Okay? I don't. They either overweight, they got a lot of kids, which doesn't take away from their beauty, but it doesn't make them attractive to me. This is what I mean. Like, it ain't a look on the woman's face. It's her health habits, and it's other factors more than looks. Because most of the females who are interested in me aren't bad looking at all. It's the fact that they have a bunch of children, never been married. That's a difference. Let me explain why that's a difference when it comes to never been married and having children versus divorced and having children. That woman was married. Let's say, for example, she was married for like 15 years and things just didn't work out because whatever. And she's back out dating. All of her children were by her ex-husband versus a woman who just believes that good raw dick got her in trouble was like, you know what the fuck was I thinking? You see the difference? You see the difference? And then you'll see some men try to tell you, well, divorcees in general and stuff, she's a single mother and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, she was married to somebody for 15 to 20 goddamn years. I don't know how the situation ended. I don't know what happened in between that. All the children belong to him and her, not him, and her. There's different ways. See, it comes up like that. But my thing is, this is not me telling you to do to just be like, all right, I'm going to swear off women altogether. I can't trust any of them. Being a man of my age, it's just most of the women going to have children. They are. I'm past the point. I'm at an age where if there's women in my age range, they're mostly past the point of having children because of age reasons. Health for that child. The older you are, is very high risk that your child can be born with birth defect. I get it. I get it. And I'm not going to even mention what a lot of these dudes in the manosphere are mentioning about younger women. No, I mention it right now, but it's not like, okay, that's a viable option for me. That's what I want to do because I waited a long time. You know why I waited? You know why I don't have children? Not waited. You know why I don't have children? Because I went into the situation like, you know what? I need a sustaining relationship. If I never got that sustaining relationship that I wanted to have, why would I bring children into this world? See, that's the difference between people with common sense versus those who act off of impulse and emotion. That's the difference, y'all. And we got a lot of guys who, and girls who in the black sector YouTube that have this whole mindset that, oh, they talk a good game, but their real life shows you otherwise. And I'm telling a lot of you guys who, and ladies, that if you're not completely dwelling in that category where you have no children, you're fairly young, don't get caught up in this BS. I'm like a spectator, and I'm just watching this happen, and I'm like, you know what? I used to learn a lot. I've learned a lot. I've learned out to watch out for a lot of different things. But as for being a card carrying member, oh, hell no. I just can't. I got too much sentience. But while I may agree with a lot of stuff, and I enjoy listening to content of people who speak their own mind, yet they got valid points that I'm like, you know what? See, this is why I fucks with this person, because we may not see eye to eye all the time, or we have difference in opinions, but when it comes to a lot of things, common sense recognizes common sense. And that's how a lot of you brothers and sisters need to look at a lot of the situations. Don't be an echo chamber. If something doesn't feel right to you, don't follow it. Plain and simple. Just because you match up on everything doesn't mean you have to be a carbon copy. And a lot of guys out here want to be carbon copies because they don't have enough confidence in themselves. So they look at people like Kevin Samuels, or they want to piggyback off his success. So they look at people like that. I'm not one of those people. I sit here at this number as long as I want to do videos, because I'm not an ass kisser. I'm sorry, I'm just not. While I may agree with a lot of things, I disagree with just as much. But I digress. Anyway, y'all, because I'm a Fury, I'm out. Peace.